What's up, YouTube? This is Eric Kelly, aka the Tech Gentleman, bringing you guys another live. Who is this? Okay. Anyway, bringing you guys another lunch with the Tech Gent. Appreciate everybody for stopping through. You guys a couple of seconds to get in before I start going through my topics. I got a couple I want to hit on. I'm thinking about designating Monday as, you know, the day that I do the lunch with the Tech Gent. Let me know what you guys think about that as an option. Mondays, you know, I usually don't have anything going on at work, so I'm thinking about making Monday the official live with the Tech Gent day. It's the official Keith. What's good, bro? Appreciate you for stopping through. We got a couple people coming in. What's going on? What's going on? Happy Monday. Hope everybody's Monday is going well. As y'all can see or hear, it's raining here in Alabama. And let me know how my audio and video sounds. I think I found the hot spot in the place that I normally do these streams at. Got 4 bars of LTE, so my video should be coming through strong. I think my audio is usually pretty good. See, what's up, Reese Odom says, hey Eric, I'm thinking of flash and unlock firmware for the Galaxy Note 8 that I have from Verizon. Do you think this will work? Supposedly, I was taking a look at it. Supposedly it should work. I have the beta firmware on my Galaxy S8 Plus. Dang, it's coming down out here, man. But yeah, I got the beta firmware on my Galaxy S8 Plus, and it's been working flawlessly. Haven't had any issues with compatibility, because supposedly all the phones are the same. They just, you know, send them to different carriers. Is that rain? That's the official key. Yes, sir. We got a storm coming through. I made it out to the parking lot before it got too crazy, luckily. So it's about to come down over here. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad before I wrap up. Yeah, we got a couple people in. Yeah, if you're watching, man, just give me a shout out in the comments, just so I can shout you out. And I'll let you know I appreciate you for stopping through. But it's been coming up on 3 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the first topic. Said that Vivo phone about to drop. Yeah, the one with the end screen fingerprint sensor. Yeah. Forbes Tech Reviews, what's up, brother? Appreciate you for stopping through. Team 100 in the building. Shout out to everybody in the Team 100 community, man. We got an awesome community going on. Shout out to my boo, Ashley Kelly. She's stopping through, supporting me. I love it. Love and appreciate it. Yeah, man, we got a, I'm going to put it in the description after the stream is over, but we got a community called the Team 100 Community on GroupMe. It's an awesome community if you like tech, if you like YouTube. You know, we get on some other topics now and then, but it's mostly focused on tech. And, you know, if you're thinking about doing YouTube, it's a great channel if you're trying to start a a great chat if you're trying to start a YouTube channel as well, because we're just all about helping each other get better and, you know, improving our quality and content, and, you know, just sharing knowledge and ideas and lessons learned as well. So be looking out for that after the stream is over. But let me get into it. So the first topic I want to talk about is the let's see. So we can't hear or see anything. How's my audio and my videos? Is everybody able to see me and hear me okay? Y'all give me a second, bear with me. I'm gonna hop on and see what I'm seeing right quick. Okay, so it says I'm live. See how I sound right quick. Okay. Yeah, babe, I'm not sure. I'm gonna send this text back out. All right. Yeah, so the first topic is going to be the new Samsung Exynos processor. Must be, hey, Forbes, you hating, man. No, they right here. That's not even it, man. That's probably this rain, though, for real. Messing with the service out here. Anyway, first topic. All right, we almost 6 minutes in. First topic, the new Exynos processor. So Samsung, if you don't know, they manufacture their own processor. It's called the Exynos processor. Usually in the States we don't get it. We usually get some sort of Qualcomm variant, and we end up usually taking an L, because the Qualcomm variant isn't as powerful and not as capable as the Exynos, which they receive overseas and in other countries. So the big deal about this new Qualcomm processor, they just released some of the specs and capabilities of it. And one of the big things that caught my eye was the fact that it's going to be able to do 4K at 120 frames per second. Also, it'll be able to encode video in H.265, H.264, and V9. And also, we'll be able to do 10-bit color, which is HDR. So the video recording capabilities of the chip are going to be amazing. But I'm afraid that we might be bottlenecked by the Snapdragon 845, which reports are already saying it's not going to be capable of things like the 4K 120 and stuff like that. But if they do allow the Exynos version to take advantage of those features, it might be worth it to get one that's unlocked. And that version is going to be the Exynos, I think it's the 9910 variant of the Exynos processor. And it's going to be in the S9 and supposedly the Note 9 that come out this year. And it's going to come out overseas as well. And I'm not getting any comments on that. I don't know if we just got all Samsung haters in the comments. I know Forbes is in there. I know he hates strong on that. But they're saying that power-wise, it's basically close to the same processing power as the A11 Bionic chip from Apple. So that's a huge leap in performance from last year to this year, if those claims hold up. That's amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, hopefully they don't limit what the Exynos version can do just so it's matched up with the Snapdragon variant or the Qualcomm variant. So the next thing in the news that I saw, this is a pretty big one. So supposedly it was leaked in some documents that Apple is planning on canceling production of the iPhone X this summer. And they are citing poor sales or lackluster sales as far as the reason why they're going to stop production on it. And that's just, I don't know if I believe that or not. I think that's, rumor at most. Because Apple has never just totally canceled a product. Even if it doesn't perform the way they want it to, they'll keep it on the shelves because they put the money into it. And they're making money off of it, regardless of, how many they sell. Just because they build their profit margins into the price of the device. That's why their devices usually, are more expensive than others, because they're making their Apple version of Oreo that I'm running. Yeah. Shout out to Reggie U for stopping through. See, I see the baby seat back there. Yeah, man. Shout out to Graco, or Graco. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but they've been keeping my baby safe since 2015. They want to shoot me some sponsorship. I appreciate that. He says, man, that Android phone is killing your stream. Man, I don't know if it's the phone or the service. Like I said, I don't know how many bars I got out here. And I didn't think about it before I started, but I am running a beta version of Oreo on this S8 Plus. It's been rock solid up until now. But, yeah, man, the baby seat, there's really nothing I can do about it. It's in the shot. And I don't know if I ever took one of these out and put it back in, but it's a workout. And I didn't feel like getting that workout today, just so it wasn't in the shot. I might have to work on that in the future, but today we're going to have to hold it down with the baby seat. But yeah, man, like I say, as far as the Apple X thing goes, I don't know if I believe that, because Apple's never just stopped producing a device that hit the shelf. If it's on the shelves, they're putting it out there for at least 3 or 4 years before they stop supporting it, man. Yeah, so shout out to JQ for coming through. Appreciate your support. He says nothing wrong with a man. A family man is always respected. Yeah, man, I'm definitely a family man. My daughter definitely knows who rules the roost. See, Ashley says I was going to comment on that seat as well. I was going to comment on that seat too. Yeah. The seat is definitely, shout out to the baby seat, man. We're going to start doing that. We're not going to run from it. We're going to embrace it. But make sure I catch all the streams. So I got the tech couple in the building. What's going on? Shout out to the tech couple for joining the stream. Reggie says, I feel you. That seat is anchored and not going anywhere. Says I work up mad sweats moving it around. Yeah, man, it's definitely a workout, man. Especially if you put it in right. You got all the straps going to where they're supposed to go. On top and down below, and then you tighten it up and all that, man. Yeah, it's a workout. Tech couple says got 2 baby seats in the back of the Max right now. Shout out to the tech couple. I just saw the video you guys put up about your new Maxima. That Maxima, man, is clean, man. They got the midnight SR Midnight Edition, all blacked out. All the bells and whistles, the dual panel roof, man. Shout out to them. That's a clean ride, man. Most definitely. But yeah, man, so if I don't know who all has an iPhone X in the building or how y'all feel about them stopping production. I don't know what that's gonna mean support wise. But if this were to happen, this would definitely be a first for Apple as far as stopping production on a device. Because it can't be, the hardware is nice, but it can't be costing them that much money to produce the iPhone X. There's nothing new that's in the iPhone X that's never been done before. You've had round screens, you've had glass backs. They got the dual camera array from the iPhone 8 Plus. They I don't know. Some people said the price on them was going to skyrocket if they did stop production on it, which it definitely would, because if it's hard to get, look at the price of the OG iPhones this year. Those things went through the roof just for people to get their hands on them because it's something rare. And this would definitely be a rare iPhone. That would make it a collectible if that was something that was going to happen. But it just financially it doesn't make sense for them to do that. Let me see. Let me catch up with the chat. Shout out to Android Stud in the building. He says a notch below the rest. That's classic, man. I like that. See, JQ says stopping production wouldn't hurt at all. Probably raise the aftermarket value of the phone. That's true, but the only people that are going to make money on the aftermarket value are going to be people that's already bought it. So if you have an iPhone X and you want to sell it, you can mark it up ridiculously high, especially if you got the high-end version. But I don't know if Apple's going to make that money. Shout out to, who is this in the chat? LJ Ran 3. Appreciate you for stopping through. Says I call BS on this story. Yeah, I'm about right there with you. Reggie, you says they're doing us a favor not selling that overpriced piece of hardware. Yeah, but the effect is already taking place, man. I think the prices of phones have already jumped according to the iPhone X already. People have kind of gotten used to seeing prices of phones that are near $1,000. I don't think anybody's going to back off of that. I expect the S9 to be right up there with it. I think $900 is going to be kind of a new normal as far as the price point. JQ says support isn't going anywhere either. Yeah, and I can't see them pulling support. That's just bad business for Apple. Tech couple says I don't know if that's real, but I assume if it is, they might be sitting on more iPhones than they feel like they need. Yeah, if they went through everything they needed to go through to try to meet production numbers that they're used to, and they're just not selling, I think them stopping production will kind of give them a little more exclusivity. If you can't go in the store or it's gonna be ending production, people might be a little more motivated to go out and buy one. I don't know if they'd actually put it on sale. I've never really seen them do that, but they might. If they end production in the summer and try to sell down through their stock, and then when they come out with the new iPhone or whatever they're going to come out with this year, almost going to be forced to, lower the price of the iPhone X. Because it's so high, they can't expect to sell in a high volume at that high of a price. Those are MacBook prices they're selling the phone at. And, if you love Apple or not, You know, I think Adrian L is probably one of the biggest Mac or Apple fans I know of, and you can't even finish the question of if she's going to buy the new iPhone this year. She's like, no, I paid $1,000 for this iPhone X. It's going to hold me for 2 years. And I think you might have a lot of people that feel that way. So they're going to have to do something as far as the pricing, even if they do decide to stop production, if they want to move those units. See, shout out to Sean in the building. He said, what's up? What's going on with you? Android Stud said it was an experiment. That's what a lot of people felt like. They felt like it was Apple testing the waters to see how people would respond to just the drastically new form factor and UI, because this was one of the first new iPhone designs in 4 years. But just as far as since the inception of the iPhone, you've always had the home button. Even when they took out the home button and just put a fake button there, they still clung. They still were clinging to that iPhone design that people were used to. And I think that it showed, because the best-selling iPhone, I think they said when the 8 Plus and the X came out, they still were selling a lot of the 6S's and the 7s, because the combination of price and functionality. People still like their Touch ID, which I think them getting rid of it was really, they're trying to solve a problem nobody had. Nobody complained about using the fingerprint sensor. It was fast, it was fluid, it was convenient, and it was, you know, it was secure. They were trying to go too far too fast, I think, when they came out with the X and got rid of the button. But yeah, everybody's asking if it's raining. It is definitely raining here. It's kind of doing the on-off thing. It'll, you know, come down hard for a second and then die down. Let me know if it gets to be too much. I can definitely, you know, if I gotta end it, I gotta end the stream if you guys can't hear me. But JQ says, everyone I know personally that has the phone is happy with it. Yeah, man, I've played with one a little bit. Like I said, it's great hardware, but from a manufacturing standpoint, I can't imagine why it would be that pricey. You know, they're using off-the-shelf parts for the most part. It's got the same exact internal as the 8 and the 8S. So, I mean, 8 and the 8 Plus. So I don't think that availability of the parts would be an issue either. Android Stud says it was an anniversary edition. Apple is moving on. Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, and they can't call the next phone the X, which is true. I don't even know how you would follow up from that, naming convention wise. You know, it says it was a 10th gen iPhone X. It's a 10th gen iPhone, so the next one has to have a different name. It's not rocket science. 10th anniversary. Yeah, that's true. Tech Couple says if they were doing anything, it would be probable. It would probably be pushing production or pausing production. They still sell the iPhone 6S, which is a 2 generations old device. And that's true, and they're still selling well. That's technically the last iPhone you can get that has a headphone jack. So if you like that, it's really the most feature-packed iPhone you can get. It's got everything: fingerprint sensor, headphone jack, cameras, and all that stuff. See, Android Stud says, so Apple only sold 35 million iPhone X instead of 45 to 50 million. Poor Manzana. Yeah, their pockets are dying, ain't they? Only 35 million. Shoot. Pretty much every other manufacturer besides Samsung would love to sell 35 million devices. JQ says, complained about borders, and they solved it. People still complain. What a surprise. Yeah, I mean, it's not all, you know, it's not all roses though. You didn't go borderless. You went mostly borderless, and then you literally changed the screen ratio almost, because you got rid of borders and then you put this big compromise at the top of the phone that encroaches on the screen area. And people have already, you know, studies have already shown that people want bigger screens, not necessarily bigger phones. And Apple doesn't have a big screen phone right now. The iPhone X has the biggest screen they've made. It's at 5.7-ish inches. But then if you're viewing content, which most people do on their devices, you have to account for the notch. And paying $1,000 for something and somebody telling you, oh, you need to get over this issue with the phone, because the notch is an issue. It's a reason why no other screens you look at have cutouts in the screen. It's not because they can't do it. That's a compromise. That's something that you have to get over and something you have to live with. So If they're going to come out with another phone that didn't have that, I think that would probably be the best thing for them. Let's see. Tech Couple says, and the 6S has to be available until at least 2020, unless they're going to force everyone to iPhone 7s. Yeah, they got to support it, man. If you're going to sell them, they got to support them. Phone Tech at Work in the building. What's up, brother? Says, we in here. Am I late? Yeah, man, we started promptly, man. Soon as, right at 11:30 Central Time, 12:30 Eastern. Pacific, I think that's 9:30. We're on time. Yeah, Reggie, you says late Tech at Work. I feel a new nickname brewing up. I'm gonna use that though. Sean says 6S Plus is a great pick. Yeah, man, that's you're not really losing out too much. It has good cameras, headphone jack, Touch ID. You can't beat that. Got TJ in the building. What's up, brother? JQ says, so the shrunken borders on the Samsung is better? Infinitely. Because when I look at video, my video isn't being cropped in to cut out for the bezel, or for the notch. And I don't have the other option, which is to have a chunk of the video taken out. That's just, Apple has been making design flaws like that since Steve Jobs passed. There's certain things Steve Jobs always put to the forefront. And I think that this is another example of, under Tim Cook's reign, them picking form over function. They want something to look a certain kind of way, so you sacrifice functionality to get it to look that way. I think it was the same thing with the Magic Mouse they came out with, that in order to recharge the mouse, you can't use the mouse while it's recharging. Like, you have to lift the mouse up and plug the mouse in on the bottom, and you can't use it while it's recharging. That was stupid. That was one of those things where I don't know if they just declared war on ports. Also, the way that the Apple Pencil sticks out of the Lightning port on the iPad Pro to charge. Like, you could have came up with something else, man. And I think it's stuff like that where they literally choose to make something look a certain way over people's interaction with the device. Because if you come out literally one of the most expensive phones that's ever been on the face of the planet, and at the same time tell people, yeah, but you also have to get over this issue that we introduced. Having a notch didn't make anything else better. Like, you literally lost functionality on top of them introducing a notch. So it's it's subjective, it's design. Some people might not, have that big of an issue with it. See, Android Stud says iPhone 8 and 8 Plus is a better buy. Yeah, and sales have shown that people would much rather have the 8 and 8 Plus. And not necessarily because they hate the notch or anything like that. There are a lot of factors. Touch ID is a big one. I know that for a fact. There are a lot of people that don't want to give up Touch ID, and I can understand that. That's something you use several times a day. Like, think about how many times you unlock your phone and they get rid of that feature altogether and replace it with something else that isn't as efficient and isn't as easy to use. Like, they literally introduced a whole nother problem that they have to solve if they were to get rid of Touch ID altogether. See, the Magic Mouse sucks. Tech Couple says the Magic Mouse sucks. Yeah, man. It's a mouse. You can't reinvent the wheel with it, but they literally introduced the problem to something without any benefits. There are wireless mice that charge all the time. People have, other companies come up with, sleek and, well-designed mice that have built-in batteries that need to recharge. Like, there's no way they looked at that design of that mouse and was like, yeah, this is the best way to do this. Like, no, there was definitely something else they were prioritizing over functionality. Sean says, if you want the headphone jack, people would buy the 6S Plus. Yeah, the 6S Plus, price, features, function. It's hard to pass up on the 6S Plus. Let's see, JQ says the battery on that mouse lasts for how long? JQ LOL. The Tech Couple says, I bought a lightning extension cable so I can charge the pencil from my iPad case. That's cool. But having to solve a problem that wouldn't exist if they designed it a different way, though. And JQ says lost functionality, says it's subjective. Like, that's not subjective, man. Touch ID and headphone jack, like fingerprint sensor and headphone jack, are features. If there's a phone, any other phone company tried to sell you a phone that didn't have a fingerprint sensor and didn't have a headphone jack, you know, there would definitely be questions. You know, it wouldn't be seen as a feature. It wouldn't be taken as well. It would be looked at as them removing functionality. But because Apple did it, you know, people feel like, oh, well, it's modern. It's, you know, the headphone jack is old anyway. But it's really, they're solving a problem that doesn't exist. The headphone jack is never a problem. No one complained, oh, I hate plugging in my headphones all the time. And it's impossible for something that already exists, that's existed for years, like a decade. You can't say a decade-old technology is the future. Like, it's the present. You already have that on phones that have headphone jacks. And it's about options and features and not, you know, what's the future and what's not the future. Tech Couple says, my notch argument is that the only thing ever up there is what traditionally would be considered the status bar, which is true. And that's my thing. You could have just made that a solid bar and gave people a regular proportion screen instead of, you know, instead of having that dip down into the screen. That's my argument from a design standpoint. Tech Couple said, I still use a USB Microsoft IntelliMouse on my MacBook Pro. Wow. So one day I'll move over to a Logitech mouse. Yeah, that IntelliMouse, I hadn't heard that in a while. TJ says, whatever you have time to go, watch Wildin' Out. I'm not sure. I think I missed something on that. So the Tech Couple says Touch ID is a better mousetrap to unlock your phone. Face ID is a better mousetrap to authenticate your identity in applications. Yeah, and people speculated, like they say, they felt like the iPhone, the face unlocking feature, they felt like the iPhone X is more so a test of that technology, like a soak test to see, you know, kind of what issues people will have with it so that they can put it into some other devices. That's kind of why some people felt like the iPhone X was an experiment. And I think that's true. I think this is the first time Apple, if Apple felt like the iPhone X was the future, they wouldn't have sold the 8 and the 8S. I mean, the 8 and the 8 Plus. You know, that's just how it is. There's never been a year where they've come out with a new iPhone generation. When the 7 came out, they didn't also come out with the 6 or 6 Plus or whatever. Like, when the 7 came out, you want the new iPhone, you want the new hardware, it was in the 7. I mean, when the 7 came out, you want the new hardware, it was in the 7. And this year, the fact that they came out with the 8 and the X lets you know how much confidence they have in the X being the future, which is 0. Because they came out with the old design at the same time. So, you know, man. So those two topics definitely held us over. The Samsung Exynos processor being a beast didn't garner as much conversation as I knew that Apple possibly canceling the iPhone X would be. But that's a big deal. You know, Apple took a gamble, and you know, like I said, this article, it doesn't make sense, but Apple has done some other things that don't make sense. So this might be another one. But at the end of the day, we know it's driven by money. You know, if it wasn't going to make them more money, they wouldn't do it. So if stopping production will allow them to make money or recoup some of the losses that they've had, they're going to do it. You know, Tim Cook, you know, we know he's not a design guy, but he's the money guy. When Steve Jobs was running Apple and Tim Cook was there, he was in charge of, you know, the finances and making money. And he's definitely done that. You know, Apple's still been having, you know, banging quarter after quarter. You know, they've had a couple where they've been trending downward, but I think that's just, you know, after so much saturation, you got so many devices out there, it gets harder to sell to a record number of people every year, you know. See, Phone Tech at work says, Jose, stop crying. Jose need the live stream, get out his feelings. Floor says, Jose for the win. JQ says, I enjoy autofill as well, Tech Couple. Phone Tech says, Kia for the win. JQ ignores what's his name at work. See, TJ says every phone manufacturer does this one put or another. I'm not sure does this one put or another. I'm not sure what that is. TJ. Forbes says that phone tech at work. Stop it. Yeah, man. I'm surprised they didn't have more people going to bat for Apple, man. That was that was impressive. TJ says this is my autocorrect, my bad. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm just trying to figure out what you were saying. I figured that's what was going on. But man, it's been 30 minutes. Been over 30 minutes a little bit. It says phone tech at work says welcome to the new Team 100 Community Tech Gent. Thanks. I thought I was already in it, but all right. Ford says iPhone X was nice. Tech Couple said, what is all this wild and out talk? Yeah, man, I'm lost on that too. I'm gonna have to do some research and some questioning. What up, Ishmael? Says mid-range Ishmael says mid-range devices for the most part are on par with flagships. I'm not paying the stack. Yeah, it's hard to justify that paying that rack, man. It's hard to justify that. Shout out to the homie Jason Rivera in the building by way of Hawaii. What up, brother? Phone Tech says, I don't know, in regards to the wilding out. Yeah, Tech Couple says, I know about the show. One of my college buddies is up there. I don't know why we're talking about it. Yeah, I don't know either. Phone Tech says, he crying over here. TJ says that show that I'm talking about, if anybody watches in the chat, that show is funny AF. Yeah, I heard of the show. I'm just not sure what it has to do with what we're talking about. But on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, it's been a little over 30 minutes. Appreciate everybody for stopping through the chat. Shout out to Team 100. If you haven't subscribed, definitely give me a subscribe, like, a comment. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. I have the links in the description. Also, I have a link to the Team 100 community in the description of this video as well. As soon as I get a chance to put it in there, come on through. We're talking about tech 24/7. Basically, we got people in all time zones and area codes. And if you're trying to start YouTube as well, it's a good place to get some knowledge and just have some people that are kind of in the same struggle as you, figuring things out with this YouTube game. But until next time, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Peace.